Good afternoon, everyone. Craig Price again for Craig's Talk. I'm going to continue talking about writing tools. Hope you enjoyed my last episode where I talked about Story Planner. I got something new for you this week. Story Planner. Um, yes, I'm still talking about the same program. I just want to go a little bit deeper as I'm starting to use it a little bit more. I have exported it to use in Scrivener with one of my books that I'm in the middle of writing now. And I'm going to show you the process of that. First, make this little fancy introduction thing. Let's see if I can figure out how to make it fancy. There I am, Craig A. Price. And a couple of the books that I've written before using as much detailed outline stuff as I do currently. As you can see, I write mostly fantasy, so structure and world building is going to be very important for trying to get everything straight. And my process is definitely improved by using this Story Planner app as well as Scrivener. And then my new sci-fi series that I'm releasing this November. So that went through correctly. That's me. All right, so we're going to talk about Story Planner real quick. And you have to bear with me. I'm still getting used to this StreamYard application. Looks like I can't set up multiple sharing windows at a time. I have to manually flip it over to a new one. So I'm going to reset it up. And Story Planner. Here we go. So I have had a talk with the Story Planner guys. I reached out to them through Twitter. I shared my video, the last video I made with them, so they could kind of see what stuff I had, what ideas I had for the program to make it even better. And they agreed with a lot of my ideas, and so maybe they might be implemented in the future. One thing I'd like to see in the program is a race or species. Be able to filter your characters by race or species. So if you're writing something that isn't your sci-fi or fantasy, you would be able to classify as Caucasian or African American or Asian, just what descent of Asian, Chinese, Japanese. It'd be great to have that no matter what type of thing that you're writing. But then even more so for fantasy and sci-fi when you're talking about different races, dwarves, elves, humans, stuff like that. So I told them that under the characters tab here, you have a lot of great things. I'll turn this to full screen here. And you can see on your characters, you have a lot of great things that they have, from the name to their function, character tags, which I suppose I could add a character tag there. This might be one from one of the newer updates. So a character tag would probably be a good way to do it, but then I don't know if you can actually edit the tag. There's no tag option menu where you can describe what the different tags are, what they mean. So I still think that a good species or race would be a great idea to have. So let's just look at this Story Planner app. Just want to briefly go over one more time. You got the project title, progress. Looks like some of this stuff is new. I must have an updated version of the app since last time I looked at this. Then, of course, all my notes, storyline, genre, synopsis, and any notes that I would have, all of my characters, which come with pictures. You can add pictures to it. I did that on a couple of my characters. Being able to put their outer goal and inner goal description, psychological description, character arc, biography, extra notes, your locations. It's another great one to have. Have different spaceships, different planets, stuff. Then the plots. We got the main plot, the subplots. So it's a bunch of great stuff. It looks like I should have messed with the tags real quick before I exported. So let's go ahead and just see what the tags do. We'll just add a couple of tags to a couple of these characters. I'm just going to worry about my main ones here, actually. And we'll just see what these will do in the export into Scrivener. Okay, and what else do we have? I do like how it has the drop down, so you can be able to select, and that's what I think what we need to have for a species or race. As you see, a lot of them down here actually put the races in here just so I could have the description of the races. So I put them as characters and put descriptions about the race itself, their home planet, what their physical description is, and any extra notes about them. And I think if we could do the same thing with the tags, if they would make that update, I think that would work just as well. All right, so I put a couple tags in, and we'll see how those tags work. Well, what else do we have here? Project. This was a new one. Set a deadline, target. All right, we all missed too much more with this. So now we want to export this. So we go here to the dots. You can export project. So we're going to export this to a Scrivener 3 file. So we can open it up on Mac. Obviously, you can do a Scrivener 2 if you have Windows. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let's see. All right. All right, what it does, you can't see my folder screen right now, but what it does is it turns it into a zip file when you export it. And then with Mac, you just double click the zip file and it automatically puts it in the same folder right next to the zip file as the .scriv file. And so then I'm going to open this. I'm letting it update everything. Okay, and now I'm going to, well, hello there. All right, so now I'm going to figure out how to get the share screen back on under Scrivener. All right, here we go. There you can see my pretty face. So Scrivener, this is how it turns out. Can we see, are we looking at that? Nope. We're showing the document itself. Hang on. Let's try that again. That's the one I meant to share. All right, so here we go. Here's the Scrivener file. Now, what this does, go ahead and go full screen on here. All right, so it lumps it all into an outside folder. So it's not under manuscript. So if you look at the total manuscript, you got 0 words total. But if you look at the project, there's all of the stuff there. I don't like having that. Put that to 200% so we can see everything. As you see, that's the project. See all the subtitle things are in bold. You have your notes. So that's just your overall project file from that story planner. And then all the characters that you create, they all show up here, which is fantastic. I'm not sure what kind of order these characters went in. They did not come out in the order that I put them. And they don't look alphabetical either, so I'm not exactly sure. But it's easy to click and drag stuff around if you need to move it. So my characters, I'm going to just immediately take that and drop it into my research. I'll go ahead and drop my project over there in my research as well. My plots, there's every one of my little plots, main plots, subplots. So I'll take my plots, and I'll drop them into my research as well. Oops, I don't need them there. And locations, they'll come out here, so you can go back and refer to all your locations and any information about them. So that's great. We'll drop that into our research as well. And then, as you see, the scenes got dropped right here, and they actually break it into the arcs, the acts that you make in the menu itself on Story Planner. So this is great right here. As I get started writing, I have all the information I need to know about this chapter. However, there is a couple of problems with this that I don't like. I'm going to show you the part that I do like. So you go to View, Show Inspector. All right, so as you see, the Show Inspector right here, it takes the description that you write in there and it drops it into your synopsis as metadata, which is fantastic. So when I'm writing, I have learned to use this inspector tool, especially when I'm writing on my iPad. I'll have that inspector tool on the side, and so theoretically I could get rid of all of this and start blank because I have my synopsis right here. But there's other stuff in here that I do need. What I am sad about is the fact that the notes section here, where it clearly says notes in the Story Planner app, did not translate into my notes metadata here. The other thing that see if I go to a couple of my main characters, once we can check out those tags. Okay, here's one of them. No notes or synopsis about him, but it's just got the main data in here for all of his stuff. It would be nice to have that stuff broken out a little bit like that when it came through. But that's easy enough to fix if I think that looks better on my eyes. The name tags, okay, so that's where the tag ended up. Now I was just curious how that worked. So my characters, notice that my character picture did not show up here. So the pictures do not translate from Story Planner to Scrivener. I kind of wish they did. That would have been really cool. So here's my problem with the way that this stuff exports is you take all of these scenes. Let's just take this whole thing and just drop it straight into the manuscript. Okay, now my manuscript has 9,821 words. All right, let's just start writing something up here. All right, so my total document is 9,831 words, and I wrote 10 words. So this is not really a Scrivener tutorial. I will talk more about Scrivener in depth later, but one thing I like to use here is under Project Writing History, Scrivener. And you can see that I wrote 10 words today. And so I keep track of my daily word counts, and I try to have a little spreadsheet that I have that I actually got from another author. And it's a fantastic spreadsheet. I will have to ask her if I can do a tutorial on that once I get a little more populated to show people and direct people to her to get the spreadsheet. But I use this to keep track of my words. And so my fear is that if I write 10 words here, as I finish the chapter, all right, let's say this chapter is finished. All right, now the chapter is finished at 14 words. I go here to my writing history, all right, 14 words. Now what happens once I say, okay, I am done, let me delete all of this extra information that I used to make this chapter. I'm going to delete that because I'm done with it. All right, now I'm at 0 words, and now my project writing history is at negative 320. So that's the issue I have with this stuff spitting in this out. In your main text box is the word counts go out the window if you delete those notes, because now you got to actually add the word count back to your and it gets to be a complicated mess. So I would rather not have any of this stuff in my main document. That's kind of the main issue I have with the way that this is set up. So what I'm actually going to do when I set this up, see my synopsis is here, my description is there, so that's good. So I don't have to worry about that. But just to clear the manuscript word count, I'm going to take this and drop it back to my subfolder. And the way I'm going to set this up to ensure this is done properly is and not mess up my word count is I don't need my description. The description's been taken care of right here in my synopsis block. However, the rest of this data here is all data that I want, and I can drop right here into my notes. So now I got my notes with my title, my chapter, and see, I'll show you the full screen mode for how I would write here on the laptop, if I can remember how to do it. There are a lot of options here. Full screen mode, composition mode, that might be good. Okay, so here's the composition mode for the chapter. And 200% maybe. I am writing a chapter. Here I go. Okay, so I would actually want to put the inspector on and just put that off to the side. As you can see, this full screen mode here. So I can change my separation here and probably make this thing bigger. So the top here I have my synopsis, and then the bottom here I have my additional notes, what chapter this is, any scene tags that I have. The tag thing must be new, so I don't know what I'd use that for. my point of view character, my appearing characters, my appearing location, the type of scene it is. I don't really use the begins and ends thing, but I do use my plot, and then additional notes that I have about it. See, now as I'm writing, I can look at all my notes on the side, but now this stuff is not part of my main chapter here, which is the great part when you start trying to do word counts. So now, theoretically, what I do is I take this back into manuscript. Once I do this to everything, and I go to my Act 1, I don't have to worry about deleting any of my stuff here, because I've already migrated over here. The synopsis is already good. I just have to move the rest of the stuff that I'm going to need over there. And now, as I write, I can get a proper word count. Looks like those 346 words came back. Let's see, project writing history. 26 words, and then it's in the other. I killed those ones in the other, but still my draft is clean. So I wrote 26 words in my draft. I got rid of them in my other because I took them from my when it wasn't in the manuscript, it was in my others folder, and I moved it to my notes, but I can still get a clean word count right here under my draft. And so that's how I'm going to use this story planner tool. I think that it cleans up real nice with all my research and characters. Only a couple complaints about it, which is the fact that the pictures don't come with it. That would have been really cool if the picture would have got coded in here. And then just how it lumps all of the chapters into the main text when that can mess with your word count once you write your chapter and then delete it. I do not like that aspect of it. But other than that, once I do a little bit of cleanup, I'll just go through here and do the same thing, move this stuff into my notes across all my chapters. And then I'll be good to go to start writing. So this is a project that I'm going to be writing here shortly. I'm finishing up my Ghost Dragon book right now, which is book 3 for my Ghost Probe series. And as I finish that book up, I'm going to be jumping straight into this project and using the tools from the Story Planner, exporting into Scrivener, and really kick this next book, kick its butt. I really think it's going to improve the speed a lot by doing that. So I've had a lot of fun with the program. Let me know if there's any of the programs you want me to play around with. I'm probably going to do a little bit more in-depth stuff on Scrivener. There's tons of videos out there on Scrivener, but I'm going to watch a few, study a little bit, and do it myself, just kind of so I can learn Scrivener better. I've had Scrivener for years. I've had probably Scrivener for 10 years, Windows mostly, and then I just got a Mac a couple years ago. But there are still so many features that I didn't even know that they had, and I'm trying to learn about them and see which ones are useful to me, and then I'll just show you guys how I'm using them. And then I'll play some other programs, then other little tips and tricks that I've learned over the years with like find a replace for Microsoft Word, which I already have a video on my channel about that with over 10,000 views, but I'll make a better video of it since I've got this program where I can actually talk. Other than that, y'all have a great day, and keep writing. Never give up.